You know how sometimes you've studied English maybe for ages,
Right.
right? And you feel okay with the grammar. Maybe you even did well on tests.
Yeah. You feel confident on paper.
Exactly. But then you try listening to a native speaker, maybe in a movie or just talking, and it's like, huh, it sounds so different.
Like there's a whole other layer you weren't taught.
Totally. Well, welcome everyone to the All About English podcast. This is where we help you learn to speak English really confidently.
And today, we're doing a deep dive into that exact feeling, that gap between classroom English and, well, real English.
Especially for all of you who follow the All About English channel on YouTube, we know listening is a big hurdle.
It really is. We've been looking at what makes it so tricky, and we've got some practical tips lined up.
Because, lots of learners focus hard on speaking, getting the words out.
Which is super important, of course.
But if you can't quite catch what the other person is saying back, that conversation kind of stalls, doesn't it?
It really does. Communication breakdown, it needs to flow both ways. And looking at the feedback, from the English community, and we hear this from our All About English viewers too, there are some common worries that pop up again and again with listening.
Oh, yeah. Like, just hearing words you've never come across before. Slang, maybe?
Slang is a big one.
Yeah.
Or just unfamiliar vocabulary that wasn't in the textbook.
Right. And then there's the speed, how fast people talk.
Mm-hmm. And how they link words, use contractions like gonna or wanna, drop sounds.
It all sort of mushes together sometimes.
It can, yeah. And accents. That's another huge one.
Definitely. You might get used to, say, an American accent, and then you hear someone from Scotland or Australia, and it's like, whoa, starting over.
It can feel like that. It can be a bit disheartening if you're not prepared.
So maybe just take a second for you listening. What's the biggest thing that worries you when you're trying to understand spoken English? Keep that in mind as we go.
Good point. And we should also quickly mention the difference between just like hearing English passively.
Like having the TV on in the background?
Exactly. That's different from active listening, where you're really focusing, trying to understand. And that active part is what we're focusing on today for improvement.
Okay, great distinction. So where do we start? What's the first big tip?
All right. Tip number one, this is fundamental. It's focusing on the pronunciation of natural spoken English.
And you don't just mean learning individual sounds like the or are.
Not just that, no. It's about how those sounds change and connect when people actually talk. The rhythm, the stress, the flow.
Ah, okay. Like how questions sound different, maybe.
Exactly. And things like contractions. You learn what do you want to do written down.
Right. 4 distinct words. Well, 5.
Yeah. But when someone says it fast, it often comes out sounding more like what a wanado.
What a woman, oh, wow, yeah. The words just blend.
They really do. Sounds get reduced. They link together. Sometimes sounds disappear completely. It's a natural part of spoken English.
And if you're listening for what do you, wow, you're going to miss it.
You probably will. Recognizing these common changes, these reductions and linked sounds, is so important. We actually have a video on the All About English channel about the 30 most common ones.
Oh, that sounds useful. So knowing things like going to becomes gonna.
Or want to becomes wanna, have to. Sounds like have to. It tunes your ear.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Tuning your ear. I like that.
And that actually leads perfectly into our second technique,
Which is?
reading and listening at the same time.
Ah, okay. Like with subtitles.
Sort of. But even better is using transcripts. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful for connecting the written word to the spoken sound.
How does that work exactly? Why is it so effective?
Well, think about it. You see the word written down, and simultaneously you hear how it's actually pronounced in a sentence. It builds that brain connection.
Right. You bridge that gap between the textbook word and the real-life sound.
Precisely. And a fantastic place to do this is with TED Talks.
Oh, yeah. TED Talks are great.
They are. And their website has interactive transcripts for pretty much all their talks. You can literally read along as the person is speaking.
Interactive, meaning?
Meaning you can click on a word and it might jump to that point in the video or the text highlights as they speak. It makes it really easy to follow.
That's brilliant. So you can see the words, hear them, learn new vocab.
Exactly. And you hear the natural pronunciation, the intonation, the stress within the sentence context. Plus, you can pause, rewind easily.
And maybe even try repeating bits yourself. Shadowing.
Absolutely. It reinforces the learning. Seeing and hearing helps you understand, and trying to say it helps solidify it.
Okay, tip 2. Read and listen together using transcripts like on TED. Got it. What's next?
Tip 3 is about variety. You need to listen to different accents, different voices, and different situations.
Ah, yes, the accents challenge we mentioned earlier.
It's not just accents, though. It's also about the pace people speak at, their tone of voice, even the context.
Context like.
Like, is it one person speaking clearly, like in a lecture? Or is it a group conversation with people interrupting, background noise?
Oh, yeah, following a group chat can be really tough.
It's a very different skill.
Yeah.
So practicing with lots of different types of audio prepares you better for the real world. It might feel harder at first.
Because you understand less initially.
Probably, yeah. You might feel a bit lost or even like slightly anxious when you hear an accent you're not used to or someone's speaking really fast.
But that feeling isn't necessarily bad.
No, not at all. That feeling of discomfort, that little bit of, whoa, I'm not getting this, that's actually a sign.
A sign of what?
It's a sign telling you, okay, this is an area you need to practice more. If you only listen to things you find easy and comfortable.
You're not really stretching your listening muscles.
Exactly. So when you find something challenging, lean into it. That's where the improvement happens.
And TED Talks work well here too, I guess. Lots of different speakers.
Perfect for it. Speakers from all over the world, different ages, different styles. It's a great resource for exposing yourself to that variety in a structured way.
Makes sense. Okay, diversifying our listening diet. Tip 3. What's tip 4?
Tip 4. Now this one can feel a bit like hard work, I won't lie, but the payoff is huge. It's writing down what you hear.
Dictation. Dictation, like in school.
Mm.
Writing down exactly what someone says.
Yep, that's the one. But don't panic. We're not talking about transcribing, hour-long lectures.
Okay, phew. So how do we do it effectively?
You take a short piece of audio, maybe just 20 or 30 seconds, a podcast clip, part of a video, a snippet from a TED Talk again.
Short and manageable.
Right. First, listen through maybe once or twice just to get the gist, get used to the voice.
Okay.
Then, play the first sentence or even just the first few words. Pause it and write down exactly what you heard.
Every single word. Even the ums and uhs.
Try to capture everything you can distinguish. Don't worry about spelling perfectly at first. Just get the sounds down. Then do the next bit.
What if it's too fast?
Good question. Many platforms, YouTube, TED, Audible, let you slow the audio down. Use that feature. 0.75x speed can make a big difference.
And if I just can't figure out a word?
Leave a blank space. Just put a line or a question mark and keep going with the parts you do hear. Don't get stuck.
Okay, so write it all down, leaving gaps for the tricky bits. Then what?
Then listen again, maybe a couple more times. Look at the gaps you left. Think about the words around them. Does anything make sense grammatically? Does a particular word sound likely? Try to fill them in.
So it's like detective work for your ears.
Kind of. And the amazing thing about dictation, the unique benefit, is that it forces you to notice what you are not hearing clearly.
Unlike just listening where your brain might ignore the fuzzy bits.
Exactly. With dictation, those gaps are staring back at you from the page. You know what you missed. And figuring out those gaps is the learning. It trains your ear for those specific sounds or words next time.
I can see how that would be really powerful, even if it takes effort. Okay, dictation. What's our final tip?
Our last tip today, tip 5, is maybe the one people resist the most sometimes.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Watching without subtitles.
Ah, yeah. That feels like taking the safety net away.
Yeah,
Especially when you're tired.
totally understand that. It is harder. But here's the thing. Real life doesn't come with subtitles, right?
Fortunately not.
So practicing without them is crucial for building that real-world skill and, just as importantly, your confidence that you can understand without reading.
Okay, but how do you start? Going cold turkey seems daunting.
Yeah, you don't have to watch a whole movie like that straight away.
Mm-hmm.
Start small, get a notebook,
Okay.
choose a show you like, maybe something you've seen before even.
Yeah.
Watch just the first minute, maybe 2 minutes. No subtitles at all.
Just watch and listen.
Yep, then pause it, jot down quick notes. What did you see? What did you understand from the dialogue? Who said what? Just key points.
Right, testing your comprehension.
Exactly. Then rewind that same minute or two, and this time, turn on the English subtitles.
Ah, not subtitles in my own language. English ones.
Correct. English subtitles. Now watch it again and check. How much did you get right? What did you miss? Were there words you misheard?
I see. So it's focused, active practice, not just passive watching.
Precisely. Even doing this for a few minutes regularly really sharpens your listening. You start relying more on your ears and less on your eyes reading the text. It builds that active listening muscle.
Okay, 5 really solid techniques there. Let's quickly recap them.
Sure. So number 1 was tuning into the pronunciation of natural spoken English, the linking, reductions, rhythm.
Number 2, reading and listening together, using transcripts like from TED Talks.
3, deliberately listening to a variety of accents, voices, speeds, and situations. Don't stick to just one type.
4, the dictation practice, writing down short audio clips to pinpoint what you're missing.
And 5, pushing yourself to watch without subtitles, even for short periods, and checking with English subtitles afterwards.
That's a great toolkit. So the main message is, it takes active work.
Definitely. Improving listening isn't passive. It's a journey, and it needs consistent, focused practice using techniques like these.
You don't have to do all 5 at once, though, right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Maybe just pick 1 or 2. Whichever seems most interesting or addresses your biggest weakness. Try it out for a few weeks.
Consistency is key.
Consistency is absolutely key. Little and often is much better than one huge effort once a month.
And the goal is really unlocking that understanding, feeling more confident in any conversation.
That's it. To feel comfortable, to participate fully, to not have that moment of panic when someone speaks, it really opens up the world of English.
Fantastic. Well, the world of English is definitely more open to your ears now. Our challenge to you is to take one of these techniques and really try it out.
Let us know how it goes. And remember, for more lessons, tips, and resources like the videos we mentioned, head over to the All About English YouTube channel.
Keep practicing, keep listening actively, and watch that confidence soar. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Happy listening, everyone. We'll catch you in the next lesson right here on the All About English podcast.